Hey, what's up, y'all? Today I'm going to show you how to replace a battery in your car. This specific vehicle is a 2003 Toyota 4Runner. Standard, the battery is usually under the hood, on the left or on the right. However, my sister did have a Saturn one time that had a battery like in the trunk. So sometimes you get some crazy configurations, or the newer cars have plastics everywhere that you may have to disassemble or take apart. But basically all you're going to need is a 10mm ratchet, and I'm using the NCP2 battery terminal. So the first thing that you want to do is grab the ratchet and disconnect this little wire holder right there, because you're going to need to get to that socket, and you're going to disconnect your battery so that way you don't have power running through it while you're trying to work on it. I am holding the camera while doing this, so I'm doing my best to show y'all what's going on. Do the other side. This is the positive. You don't want to mix up the negative and the positive. A good way to know if you're putting it on the right terminal is the positive is always larger. They always have a larger post than the negative, and then it's also written on the battery at the top, negative, positive, and they're also usually a red indicator that red is positive, black is negative. However, don't always go by the colors. Make sure you know what you're doing, because you could get somebody that put a cover on a negative. So make sure you check all of those things. So now the battery is disconnected. Let's push these terminals out of the way. As you can see, I already have some NCP2 protectors on the post already. So if you don't have new ones and you have some old ones on your old battery, you could go ahead and reuse those for the new battery as well. But now the battery's disconnected, but I gotta take apart the bracket that holds it in place. So you just take these screws out. You don't have to take them out all the way. Your 10mm is going to have to be a deep socket because of the post, the bolt, the all thread that comes up through the bolt there. So if you have a shallow socket, you're not going to be able to get it. So what you do is, let's see if we can see here. There is a groove down there that this locks into. And so you push it down and twist it, and you can pull it out. See, now it's free. Same on this side. You see the little hole, and this one's not loose enough. Actually, what you can do is you can actually lift it up, since I disconnected it on the back, and pull it out like that. Okay, so now your bracket has been disconnected. Now what I did here, I had problems with acid buildup underneath my holder. And so what I did was I actually put some of the NCP2s on the actual bracket itself, as you can see that I did there. So that is an option you have. This is a Interstate battery. I really like the Interstate batteries. The first one is kind of expensive, but it has a 6-year performance, and they prorate them when you buy a new one. It's like $100, which is cheaper than most of the batteries for this car, like at AutoZone and all that, even the cheap ones. So now we're going to take the battery out and put the new one in. Okay, so you set your new battery in. You put your terminal protectors. Wind's blowing out here. Put my hood down. I'll blow my hood down there. Put your battery terminal protectors on the post. What I like to do is kind of rub this protector stuff on these posts pretty good. That way they don't have any corrosion. The reason I like these NCP2s is because they're integrated with the NCP2. They have that's the liquid, so that's what they're called. You see the red stuff on my hands. It's actually on there and helps prevent corrosion and things of that nature. And so once you do that, before you start putting the mounts back on the terminals, you want to put your bracket back on, so you're not dealing with anything live. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. This would be the first time I changed my battery with one hand before. Alright, got the front side. As you can see, like I said, you put the hole, connect it, and this one's kind of hard to see. It's gonna be a little bit harder. But you connect the back side. You may have to loosen your bolt just a tad to get it to lock in. Okay, now it's locked in. You take your 10 millimeter, retighten. Tighten it even so you don't put too much pressure on one side. Like I said, I was having problems with battery corrosion under here, and you saw when I took this one out, when I took the bracket off, there was no corrosion under there. That's because of these terminal protectors, that NCP2 stuff that's integrated in them. If you do have a lot of corrosion, you can get some battery terminal cleaner. It's in a high compressed can, kind of like carburetor cleaner. Get it at your local AutoZone or auto parts store, things of that nature. And you can also use an old toothbrush with some baking soda and water. It's an old remedy you could use. Alright, we got our bracket all secure. Now you're going to put your wire hook back on that bolt, and we're going to reconnect the positive side. Get it on there good. Tighten her down. Make sure you get your cover back on there. Protect it from grounding itself out. Put your ground on. Tighten up. And you're good to go. Well, there it is. So 10 millimeter, some battery terminal protectors. This will work on just about any car. Like I said, there are some unique situations where the batteries are buried or in the trunk or whatever, but typically you'll see the battery when you open the hood on the right or on the left. And so I hope this video was helpful. Y'all have a good one.